Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. So let's get this. The Great Trade Shakeup. A moment that could redefine the global marketplace as we know it. Imagine the world as a giant marketplace, where every country is a vendor, each trying to sell their goods and make their mark. In this vast bazaar, fortunes are made and lost, and the rules are always changing. For years, Africa's been trying to get a fair deal, facing tough rules, picky buyers, and a system that often seems stacked against them. Many African producers struggled to compete, their goods blocked by tariffs and quotas. Suddenly, China, one of the world's biggest shoppers, throws open its doors. No more tariffs for almost all African imports. It's a move that's caught everyone's attention. This isn't a minor discount, it's a seismic shift in global trade. The ground beneath the world's trading system is moving, and the aftershocks will be felt everywhere. At the 2025 Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, China announced tariff removal for 53 out of 54 African nations. It's a sweeping gesture, signaling a new era of partnership. From Zambian copper to Ghanaian cocoa, the barriers to the world's second-largest economy have vanished, even for middle-income giants like Nigeria and South Africa. Suddenly, African goods have a direct path to Chinese consumers. China's message is clear. It wants to be Africa's main partner, not just in trade, but in shaping the future of global commerce. For decades, African nations navigated complex, conditional trade deals with the West. These deals often came with strings attached, and progress was slow. China's approach? Simple. Let's do business. No lectures, no lengthy conditions, just open doors and opportunity. This move forces other global powers, especially the US, to pay attention. The balance of influence is shifting, and the world is watching closely. Only Eswatini is left out, due to its ties with Taiwan. It's a reminder that trade is never just about economics. It's about politics too. This isn't just economics. It's a geopolitical statement. China is rolling out a welcome mat, while others build fences, drawing new lines on the map of global influence. The impact could shape Africa's economic future for generations. New opportunities could lift millions out of poverty, spark innovation, and transform cities and rural communities alike. But is this a gateway to prosperity, or a new kind of dependency? The promise is huge, but so are the risks. Will Africa gain true independence, or just swap one powerful partner for another? The story is just beginning. The choices made now will echo for decades, shaping not just Africa, but the world. What exactly is China offering to Africa, and why does it matter so much right now? It's more than just sell us your stuff. China is opening its doors wider than ever before, inviting African businesses to participate in a market that was once difficult to access. The headline? Almost all tariffs are gone, making China's 1.4 billion person market wide open for African goods. This is a game changer for exporters across the continent. For a Kenyan avocado farmer, the path to China just got a lot smoother and cheaper. Suddenly, products that were once too expensive to ship or sell in China are now within reach of millions of new customers. But China isn't stopping at open doors. They're pledging $51 billion in new funding for Africa over 3 years, a sum that dwarfs many previous investments. This money targets infrastructure, roads, ports, railways, solving the chicken and egg problem of getting goods to market. It's about making sure African products can actually reach Chinese consumers efficiently. China is also providing technical and commercial support, training, logistics, and help navigating Chinese standards. This means African businesses aren't left to figure things out alone. It's like being invited to a party and getting a ride, a suit, and a cheat sheet. China wants African partners to succeed because their success means more trade for everyone. This isn't just about buying raw materials. It's about building the supply chain and know-how. China is encouraging value addition and local processing, not just extraction. China's approach is holistic. Remove barriers, build infrastructure, and transfer skills. It's a strategy designed to create lasting partnerships, not just one-off deals. They're embedding themselves in Africa's economic future, becoming part of the continent's growth story and development journey. It's a long-term vision, not a quick transaction. China is betting on Africa's rise, and wants to be there every step of the way. Beijing is positioning itself at the center of a new economic ecosystem, one that could reshape global trade for decades to come. While China rolls out the red carpet, America seems to be hitting snooze on Africa. As China opens up, the US is raising barriers, proposing tariff hikes on African goods just as China cuts them. The African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, which allowed duty-free exports to the US, is set to expire in 2025, with no clear renewal in sight. For African businesses, this uncertainty is destabilizing. The US has also slashed development aid and pulled funding from key African institutions. The message: America is stepping back, favoring short-term deals over long-term partnerships. While China plays chess, the US seems to be playing checkers and flipping the board. This retreat leaves a vacuum. China is moving in to fill it. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Africa is watching and choosing. The numbers tell the story, but the real drama is in what those numbers mean for Africa's future. Behind every statistic is a shift in power, influence and opportunity that's reshaping the continent. In 2023, China-Africa trade hit a staggering $282 billion, 4 times the US-Africa figure. This isn't just a gap, it's a chasm that's growing wider every year, reflecting China's relentless push to become Africa's top economic partner. China is the anchor tenant in Africa's marketplace, setting the pace and tone. The US, by comparison, is just another customer, often reacting rather than leading. China's foreign direct investment is double that of the US, funding everything from sprawling factories and tech startups to massive infrastructure projects. Chinese capital is fueling new industries and transforming skylines across the continent. Chinese companies are building capitals, railways, ports and more, creating jobs, transferring skills, and changing Africa's landscape in ways that will echo for generations. Meanwhile, US investment is narrower, often focused on oil and gas. American dollars flow into energy, but rarely into the broader economy or long-term development. Africa exported $170 billion to China in 2023, but still runs a trade deficit, buying more from China than it sells. The trade relationship is deep, but not always balanced. Critics point to this imbalance. Africa exports raw materials, while importing finished goods. This dynamic risks locking Africa into a cycle of dependency. The hope is that tariff-free access and new trade agreements will help Africa diversify, build its own industries, and export more value-added products to the world. China's dominance is clear, but the next chapter is unwritten. Africa stands at a crossroads with the power to shape its own economic destiny. Will Africa close the gap and seize the opportunity? The world is watching, and the stakes for the continent and the global economy have never been higher. Africa isn't a passive player, it's shaping its own destiny. In 2025, 13 of the world's 20 fastest-growing economies are African. Countries like Rwanda and Senegal are posting world-beating growth rates. Africa's young, booming population is creating a massive consumer market. Global powers see not just resources, but a future market for goods and investment. Africa also holds the minerals needed for the green energy transition: cobalt, copper, platinum. The continent is key to the world's sustainable future. Most importantly, African nations are integrating through the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. The goal: break down old barriers, boost intra-African trade, and build regional value chains. This makes Africa a stronger bloc in global negotiations. The continent is rising, and the world is taking notice. Africa's future is in its own hands. China's open-door policy brings real benefits: jobs, infrastructure, and economic growth. New roads and ports connect farmers to markets and countries to the world. Chinese investment creates ripple effects: local suppliers, skills transfer, and job creation. For Africa's youth, this is a lifeline. But there's a flip side: debt. Many projects are financed by Chinese loans. If returns fall short, countries could face financial strain. Critics warn of debt-trap diplomacy, though evidence is mixed. There's also the risk of over-reliance on China. If China's economy slows, Africa could be vulnerable. Diversification is key. Africa must balance opportunity with sovereignty. The challenge: seize the benefits, avoid the pitfalls. Here's a big criticism. Africa mostly exports raw materials to China and imports finished goods. This keeps Africa at the bottom of the value chain, exporting jobs and profits. The real money is in processing and manufacturing, not just extraction. Will China's tariff-free policy change this? Optimists hope it will spark African industrialization, exporting shoes, not just leather. The door is open for value-added goods. But skeptics warn, even with no tariffs, African manufacturers face tough competition from China's efficient industries. The risk? More raw exports, little change in trade structure. The opportunity? Use this access to demand technology transfer and build local capacity. The challenge is clear. Move up the value chain or stay stuck at the bottom. The choice is Africa's. This isn't just economics, it's global strategy. China's deepening ties with Africa are about building influence and a multipolar world. With 53 African nations as partners, China gains diplomatic clout at the UN and beyond. Security is part of the equation. As US aid and presence shrink, China and Russia step in with arms and support. No lectures attached. This creates a new, complex security landscape. America's retreat has left a trust gap. China's reliability is winning favor. This isn't a new Cold War, but it is a new era of great power competition. Africa faces risks, being caught in the middle, but also opportunities. Multiple suitors mean better deals and more leverage. African leaders can play powers off each other to advance their own interests. It's a high-stakes game. Africa is learning to play it well. Africa stands at a crossroads. China's open door offers unprecedented access. The Western path is uncertain. The future depends on how Africa responds, actively, strategically, and united. The goal, not just more exports, but better ones. Finished goods, not just raw materials. Governments must invest in manufacturing, support entrepreneurs, and build policies for value addition. The AFCFTA is the vehicle for regional integration and industrial muscle. By trading more with each other, African nations can compete globally as a bloc. The future is in Africa's hands. China has opened a door, the US may build its own. What Africa carries through that door will define its next chapter. The time to act is now.